Hi guys, it's Misty from the Book Rat, and it's time for book chat. This week, instead of a traditional chat, we're going to be doing book pushing of our favorite contemporary reads in honor of Just Contemporary Month. If you want to know what Just Contemporary Month is all about, there is a link below, but for now I'm going to get straight into my favorite contemporary reads. I'm not a huge contemporary reader. For some reason I've always kind of associated it with cattiness and like the Gossip Girl and all that stuff, and I don't want to read that, or sappy romance and brainless flirting, or books where everybody dies. So they don't always appeal to me as a genre. I need to get out of that mindset because I know there is a lot of good contemporary out there. So when friends recommend contemporary books and push them really hard, I definitely do take note and try to read those books. So a number of the books in my pile today are books that have been pushed on me by friends, and that's why I ended up reading them. So the first book is definitely Jellico Road by Melina Marchetta. This lives up to every little bit of hype that you've ever heard about it. It's really just a breathtaking book. I know some people have trouble with it in the beginning and find it really confusing. I never did. I always kind of saw where it was going. But even with that being said, there are still things that happen, or revelations, I guess, that just break your heart. And I know I just said that I kind of turned off by contemporary because some of the books are known for being gut-wrenching and tear-jerking and all that, but for me it just depends on how it's done. So if it's done with this false sentimentality and you can tell that the author is trying to get you to cry or trying to play with your emotions, I find that really false, and I don't like that. When it's true to the story and it's just really well done and happens to affect you so much that you're just shattered at the end of it, that's completely different, and I respect that a lot. Melina Marchetta has a way of getting you so invested in these characters and just feeling like you know them and like you are going through all the things they're going through. The story is two stories interwoven that at first seem to just be separate but coincidental, and as the story goes on you realize how interconnected everything is, and I have goosebumps right now. It just gives me chills. Really, really good. I highly recommend this one. Whether you're a contemporary reader or not, this is one you do not want to pass up. Well deserving of this little print symbol that it's got right there. Going in the complete opposite direction, I have Anna and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins. This is another one that lives up to its hype easily and was pushed on me ridiculous amounts by friends. In fact, this copy was sent to me by a friend so that I would read it, and I'm very glad that she did. It's excellent. My word for it is romanceful. It is romance. It does have that romantic aspect, but it's not sugary at all. It's not all about the romance. It's more coming of age and falling in love, and it's got that great energy and butterflies and all of that that you would expect from something like that, but it's also really funny. The tone is perfect for all of the characters. I think Stephanie Perkins really nailed it as far as creating authentic characters and authentic situations and emotions. It's super fun, and the romance isn't over the top, and it's not super easy, and it just really works. I'm sure you've had a million people push it on you, and I'm going to too. Another one that I absolutely adore, and I do have, but it's buried and I couldn't get it out, is A Little Wanting Song by Kath Crowley. What I love about this book is that it blends humor and sort of sadness really, really well. I really respect books that do that and authors that are able to do that. This is, again, two storylines, two narrators, and I've said before that that's something that can really go wrong if it's not done well, and fortunately Kath Crowley does it really well. Both narrators are completely different from each other and don't necessarily even like each other in the beginning, and so it's this story of growth and friendship as you get to know them and as they get to know each other and learn to accept each other and accept themselves, and it's really, really super funny and cute and a very quick read. It has some depth of emotion and it has some understanding of character. It was probably one of the first contemporary reads that I truly fell in love with, and I think might have been the first contemporary read that I ever put on my favorites shelf. So definitely pick that up if you haven't. Looking for Alaska by John Green. This is the only John Green book I've ever read, though I do own all the rest, so all you nerd fighters don't start yelling at me that I haven't read them all yet. I do intend to. The book is sort of separated into two sections, before and after, and there's this ominous quality of what is the dividing line? What is happening that separates the before from the after, and how are we going to get there? And so there's always this sort of dark tone and this cloud hanging over you, while some really funny, very authentic teen things are happening. The tone is perfect. I love Pudge, the main character. John Green's writing definitely lives up to the hype. It has some of the complexities that people don't always associate with YA writing, but should. I loved it. The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky. This is kind of the old dog on the list. It was written in 99, but it's set in 91, so this is set 20 years ago, so it's kind of a stretch to call it contemporary, but it definitely is contemporary. I've said in the past that Charlie is one of my favorite narrators. He's very naive and sincere and funny, both intentionally and unintentionally. It's a very unflinching book, and there's a slow reveal to what's really going on. So the sort of charming sweetness that's in the beginning gives way to some more heartbreaking things, and it's done in a way to make it really powerful and to have this great impact. One of my absolute favorites, and told in a really interesting way. One book I don't have but definitely needs to make the list is The Absolutely True Diary of a Part-Time Indian by Sherman Alexie. This is one of my all-time favorite books. I absolutely adore Sherman Alexie. I mentioned earlier my respect for authors who are able to work in humor and pathos together really well, and Alexie is the master of that. He does it better than any author I've read except for Toni Morrison, who is the absolute queen of it. What I love about The Absolutely True Diary of a Part-Time Indian is that the voice to it is really authentic and really unique and very consistent. You always feel like everything is spot on, everything is nailed, the humor is excellent. It's another book that kind of builds up to this reveal. It tackles a lot of heavy issues and has ended up on the frequently challenged and banned books lists many, many times, so it's no stranger to controversy, which is all the more reason to read it. And when all is said and done, it's just one of those books that will stick with you. So those are some of my favorite contemporary novels. You'll notice they were all YA. I don't think I've ever read an adult contemporary novel other than one Nicholas Sparks book, which will never happen again. So if you have recommendations on really good adult contemporary that you think I'd like, feel free to let me know, but know that I am not an easy sell. Make sure to let me know your favorite contemporary reads in the comments, or if you don't read contemporary, let me know why. If you do your own blog or vlog post, make sure to link it up, and don't forget to check out Just Contemporary Month over at Basically Amazing Books. We'll be continuing the contemporary theme next week with a look at the most anticipated contemporary reads. So it can be things that you own and just have really been wanting to read and haven't had a chance yet, or it could be to-be-released contemporary books that you're really looking forward to. See you next week.